Hi there, this is Datila, and welcome to the TNAIW GoGo Power Rankings show. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, Burt Maclin, no relation to Steve Maclin.
How's it going?
All right, Burt, well, we certainly have a lot to talk about. So much happened on this week's Impact, and I'm so ready to see who's on this Power Rankings. You know, Speedball Mike Bailey better be right under Josh Alexander. That main event was freaking phenomenal.
I just think just because the sheer amount of time they got, it was based almost half the show. So they should be near the top because they dominated the whole program. So yeah, hopefully they're near the top. At least Mike Bailey is at least number 2, hopefully.
Yes, definitely. I'm also expecting to see on there finally Heath and Rhino.
Yeah, I would hope so. They are the tag team champions. But for me, the person that I want to see near the top is Savannah Evans. I think that she impressed by far. She was one of the top people on the show, aside from Mike Bailey. I just think Savannah Evans turned a lot of eyes and show what she really showed that she's the star that she could be.
Honestly, I do have to agree with you. I think Savannah Evans has been very impressive. I mean, her victory against Jessica with the K because she's sick was actually the start of us, or of anybody, if you hadn't been paying attention to Savannah Evans, was that victory should have gotten eyes on her.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
All right, but before we get into the Power Rankings, Burt, how do you join the Power Rankings committee?
Just shoot me a message on Twitter at Burt Maclin11, DM or quick message. And if you're an Impact fan that watches regularly, you can get out a top 10 every week. That's all we want. So Burt Maclin11 on Twitter.
All right, well, with that being said, let's play these Power Rankings. Number 10, number 1 contender Bully Ray. Number 9, hard to kill Mickie James. Number 8, tag team champions Heath and Rhino. Number 7, Sabin and Shelly, the Motor City Machine Guns. Number 6, The Design. Number 5, Savannah Evans and Tasha Steelz. Number 4, world champion Jordynne Grace. Number 3, X Division champion Trey Miguel. Number 2, Speedball Mike Bailey. Number 1, world champion Josh Alexander. Okay, first, wow, pretty interesting list if you ask me, but I want to start with this one, okay, because this one stuck out to me the most. Well, these two, actually. So, like I said, the tag team champions Heath and Rhino, number 8. What do you think Heath and Rhino did that earned them a spot on this week's Power Rankings? Because as you know, normally, we've talked about this, the tag team champions seem to be MIA a lot from the Power Rankings, but yet Heath and Rhino made it this week, and the Death Dolls didn't make it. So what did Heath and Rhino do to earn that number 8 spot that the Death Dolls did not do?
It's simple. They had a match.
Well, I mean, Taya Valkyrie technically had a match.
Yeah, but they're the tag team champions. They had a match. So that apparently struck a chord with somebody. Struck a chord. A former member of 3MB. See what I did there? But yes, they had a match. So, they were seen. And it's almost like, if a tree falls in the forest, that sound, no one's there to hear it. So they had a match. We saw them. That's why they're on the countdown. I mean, they're on the Power Rankings.
Okay, you do bring up a good point, because even though Taya Valkyrie had a match, it was a singles match, and she lost.
Yeah, she lost to Savannah Evans, who is number 5, Riley deserved, because Savannah Evans, for the most part, I think dominated that match and just looked like somebody who could be a world champion. And they were talking about a little dissension between her and Tasha. There shouldn't be, because Tasha should be lucky to have Savannah, because Savannah is a great number 2. And Savannah looked like a star in that match.
Well, since we're talking about number 5, Savannah Evans, I have to say I do agree with you. I think Savannah Evans has proven herself to be quite the star. Like I said, she got a victory over Jessica with the K because she's sick. And now she got a victory over Tyra Valkyrie. And honestly, I feel like Savannah Evans did such a good job. How can I say this? Taking Kira Hogan's place as Tasha Steele's partner. I felt like to follow Fire and Flavor up was going to be a difficult challenge, but I think Savannah Evans is filling that role perfectly. She's really starting to come onto her own.
Yeah, and I think it's almost like she's asked to play a different role in a sense, but they're still trying to like almost create her to be a future star, and that's the way that she's coming off as of late. So, why they're not like so much of a on the same level as they were portraying Kira and Tasha. They're starting to make Savannah someone to be reckoned with, and I really want to see that. So, kudos to Impact.
And just a little off topic here, you got to give a lot of credit to Impact. They really know how to build monsters. W. Morrissey, Jonah, PCO, Jessica with the K because she's sick, or even Havoc previously, and now Savannah Evans. So that's just a testament to Impact. They recognize that they can build a monster out of this person. And, they book them wonderfully.
Johnny Swinger is another monster. He's huge. Look at him. He's jumped out of the gym lately. Look at him.
And if he can get 50 wins, he can get a title shot.
You heard Scott. It's possible. You heard him.
Yes. Okay, so now I want to talk about number 9, Hard to Kill, Mickie James. What happened to Mickie James that she went from being number 1 to number 9? Like, what was it about this week that made her fall so high?
While I thought that was a very cool segment they did where it was like a photo shoot, but then they went to like kind of having a conversation with each other between her and Jordan. I just think it was just a short segment. She didn't have a match. And, on weeks where it's a slow week, you might see her retain some sort of the same spot, but there was just too much going on this week and too many other people stepped up to take spots. So number 9, I think is fine.
Okay, so this one, number 7, the Motor City Machine Guns, they were the ones who faced Heath and Rhino for those tag titles. Now, I answer this question. So, technically, the match ended in a no contest because the major players got involved. And Heath and Rhino are the current tag team champions. So, what is it about the Motor City Machine Guns that put them slightly one number ahead of the tag team champions, when you've always said that that being champion carries weight in the power rankings?
Well, since the rankings are subjective to a degree, and I just think the Motor City Machine Guns are just more of a fan favorite, at least to the committee. So, and I just think that they see them slightly above Heath and Rhino at this point, even though Heath and Rhino are the champions.
I do agree with you. I like the Motor City Machine Guns more than I do Heath and Rhino, and that's no disrespect to Heath and Rhino. I like Heath and Rhino as a team, but if I had to choose, I'd go with the Motor City Machine Guns.
Definitely, me as well.
Oh, hey, so here's another one. Number 6, The Design. They were number 2. With last week, you argue they could have been number 1, and this time they're number 6. What happened in a week that made them go from number 2 to number 6?
While I think that I love the debut, I personally am really excited this direction of Diener being the leader. I think this is really interesting stuff. Once again, Impact, I think, has struck gold and with this new version of the design. And I just think while everything was great, again, people ahead of them did more. That's why you see them lower. That's all it is. I don't look at it as a slight.
So you're saying that because they didn't have a match, they just kind of...
Well, they had a singles match. I just think that the people ahead of them, and we're going to talk about them, deserve to be ahead of them. So that's why they're the way they are. I can't make a case for them to be ahead of anybody that's ahead of them.
Well, now I have to say, going back to the thing I mentioned about monsters, I totally forgot to mention Khan. Impact did a really good job at showing off Khan as this big monster. I mean, he pretty much, I don't know about you, but from my point of view, he pretty much dominated Sami Callihan in that match. Don't get me wrong, Sami Callihan got offense in, but Khan just looked like a monster.
Yeah, Yeah, Impact knows exactly what they're doing. They just know how to take people who might have been forgotten and turn them into stars. So I'm not saying he's a star yet, but Impact, and he wasn't in the match, but because it's the design, Alan Angels just continues to stand out to me as just somebody. I'm not saying AEW didn't know what they had, but Alan Angels looks like somebody that Impact struck gold with. So
I definitely do agree. And it's kind of funny you mentioned Forgotten because Steve Maclin was a Forgotten Son in NXT and look what they did with Steve Maclin.
yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, let's see. I have to say, like you made an interesting point last week that how you felt that Jordan Grace could even be number 1 above Josh Alexander, but yet this week she's at number 4 and Josh is at number 1. What do you think happened? Is it the fact that she did not have a match and was just in a backstage segment that hindered her, or do you think it was just the fact that Josh just was a main event? He's Impact World Champion, and it was a fantastic main event.
I think that, and like how we've always talked about how, the world champions it's a case of like, the world champions at this point are equivalent to teams that don't really care about the regular season. You're not going to see Jordan and Josh number 1 and 2 every week. They're going to be in the top 10, most likely the top 5. But when it comes down to them having a big match or them getting a big win on a show, they're going to be number 1 and 2. And in the case of this Jordan being at number 4, I think the 3 people ahead of him, once again, I think they went out there and took their spots. So I just think the people who are ahead of them definitely deserve to be ahead of her. But that's no slight to her because, like I keep saying, I think this is Jordan's company as much as Josh's at this point. I
can't argue with that. Well, let's talk about number 2, Speedball Mike Bailey. An incredible showing in the main event. I think he held his own against Josh Alexander. He really took it to Josh Alexander. I mean, if it wasn't for Josh winning this match, that match would have gone over the limit. This like Josh literally pinned Speedball with, I believe, 15 seconds to go?
I believe so. And I wouldn't mind seeing an Iron Man match, a 16-man Iron Man match out of the two of them. I think that was fantastic. And Josh can already go that long. And so now Mike Bailey's capable of as well. He always was. So that match was incredible. And I think it just kind of showed that Mike Bailey's another person that Impact has a plan with, and somebody that they're like how they always build within. And he said, I think 2023 you're going to see Mike Bailey even take a further step into the main event scene. So great stuff.
I'm really glad Kenny King did not get involved in this match. I think him getting involved in this match, this is just my opinion. You can feel free to disagree with me. But I feel like him getting involved would have, in a way, diluted or tainted this match, and so to speak, if you get what I'm trying to say. I just feel like the match, as good as it was, would have been tainted by Kenny's interference in this match.
I think because of the degree of the match and just the point of it, I don't think it was going to see interference. I think that wasn't in the plans so yeah, I agree with you on that. And I just want to say real quick, I don't mean to get mad at you. I'm never mad at you, but I think we glossed over number 3, who I personally think was the best thing on the show, and that's X Division champion Trey Miguel.
You better never be mad at me.
I'm not. I'm sorry. I just think Trey Miguel. We didn't talk. Trey Miguel. I think this new heel attitude of his, the green belt, and then the segment it also set up. I think maybe next week we're going to get him versus Crazy Steve, which should be a really good match. Crazy Steve can go in the ring. We already know that, but I think heel Trey Miguel. This is what people were talking. I think this is his key into being the next big thing, like the next main eventer in Trey Miguel. I think Trey Miguel, along with Ace and Bay, are 3 people that Impact needs to throw the checkbook at, lock them down as long as they can. I just think that Trey Miguel promo was fantastic. So
First of all, I didn't gloss over Trey Miguel. I was gonna get to him. Because I was gonna ask, but since you mentioned him, I'm gonna ask you this. So Trey Miguel and Jordan Grace were both involved in backstage segments. Jordan Grace with Mickey James, Trey Miguel with Crazy Steve. So what is it about Trey Miguel that catapulted him to number 3 and Jordan Grace got number 4 when they were both just involved in backstage segments? What did he do differently?
I think it's short answer. The backstage segment was better, and then long answer, I would just say that this slow heel turn that we're seeing is very interesting. So I just think that warrants being higher spots, especially when the segments are like this. People want to see what's going to happen next because they're invested in it. People when you have a segment you can be invested in, it's always going to have people more interested in it. So
I mean, Johnny Swinger had a backstage segment, and we found out he has to win 50 matches. How come he's not on the power rankings?
He's always number 1 to me every week, but that doesn't mean that he'll be. Everyone else will think that, but yes, he should have been here.
Should have at least been number 10 or an honorable mention if we ever start doing those.
Okay. He'll be number 11. He's honorary number 11.
But we got one more to talk about. Number 10, number 1 contender, Bully Ray. So he is a number 1 contender. But do you think the fact that he technically wasn't on this week's Impact and he just appeared to be a video package, the reason why he fell so low?
Yeah, and I just think that he needs to be on the show. Yeah, but number 10 is perfect because he really didn't do much. And yeah, he appeared on the show, the segment. I think it was a very good promo. It was a very, very classic Bully Ray, very evil promo. But yeah, at number 10, it's just almost it's almost saying that, yeah, he has to be here because he's number 1. But it's not like it's a rule. But I'm just saying him at number 10, and that's basically what I'm saying by that. I think people are saying.
Bully Ray proving that he's still a scumbag.
Yeah, definitely.
And then speaking of, before we wrap up here, just one last mention. I did notice that aside from the Death Dolls, there is one other champion that is MIA, and that is Joe Henry. Why do you think Joe Henry didn't make this week's Power Rankings? Is it because he didn't appear at all?
No one said his name.
Oh, well, you guys make sure you say the name of Joe Henry so he can appear.
And yeah, just there. It's only 10 spots. I say it every week, but not everyone can be here. So, you know.
Fair point. It's the top 10 of the week, right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
This is basically where Regina George and the girls sit. It's a 10. You know what I mean? Not everyone can sit here. You know what I mean? Not everyone can sit with us. Not everyone can be part of the top 10.
Would you stop trying to make fetch happen? It's not going to happen.
It's going to happen one day.
All right. Well, we've pretty much covered everything on this week's Power Rankings. Is there anything else you want to say or mention as we get ready to sign off?
No, I just think that we've come to almost the end of the year. It's almost the end of 2022. So, and that doesn't mean the Impact's slowing down because January 13th is hard to kill and Josh Alexander is defending the belt. So I just think these next few weeks, while it might seem it's the end of the year, it's still very, very crucial to pay attention. So watch Impact.
And as always, you guys, thank you guys all so much for the support. Make sure you check out our friends across the pond at Talking Bloody Nonsense, the MIC Craig and Peter Nixon. By the way, I heard that the reason why they recanted their offer was because they were led to believe that you were related to Steve Maclin. And then they found out the truth that you were related.
It's causing a lot of problems. I'm getting a lot of his mail lately. So, I mean,
of course, check out LLTNA as well. And of course, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Jeff and Lucha, who will be joining us in the new year. So make sure you check out the main TNAIW show, which is live every Sunday on Twitch. But with that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching and for your continuous support. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever this video drops or whenever TNAIW drops a new video. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.